Double checking Twitch for Re.
Are we live?
We're like 5, 4, 3, 2.
We are the Coinboys, everybody. Welcome. How's everybody doing? Hope you had a great weekend. I am Daniel Gutierrez at dgutierrez84 on Twitter, and right next to me, back from the depths of illness, we have Miss
Reanimator.
Hey,
Hi, I'm alive.
And next to her, we got
Aaron, aka Sanity, at Sanity Crypto on the Twitter sphere.
the lovely Aaron.
Oh, thank you.
The lovely Aaron.
Feeling
And
pretty
behind
today.
the ones and twos, as always, we have Mr.
Hey.
Sam Proof.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Samuel Victoria Proof.
How's it going? That was
There's a
really-
hyphen in there and some other names. You
that would
missed
be
a
the
few.
greatest thing ever, I'll be honest. Because you have almost like a perfect name. I want to ruin it just a little bit. It's great.
It's true.
Are you actually a Samuel or just Sam?
I am a Samuel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you
Samuel Jackson Proof.
go. The greatest.
He's got to throw some
I'm
effers
good for
up
that.
in there.
The greatest ever.
Oh, that's funny.
Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. I had a smoky weekend. We'll get that.
Those
get
California fires.
Gotta love fires in
Yeah.
California.
Oh, man.
Whether you want to barbecue or not, it's gonna happen. But first off, let's go ahead and catch up a little bit, guys. Aaron, what have you been up to?
Oh, man. I've been in like full family man mode. Went to the pumpkin patch with my daughter. It's exciting times, let me tell you. Petting zoo. Rode a little train around the circle that went like 2.5 miles per hour. It was all right. But been playing the Borderlands.
Where's
Been
it?
crushing
Was
the-
that at the Griffith Observatory area? The train?
No, there's one in Sherman Oaks,
Oh,
like
okay.
on Sepulveda. That's actually pretty big.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
pretty crazy. We did not buy a pumpkin though. It was mainly just to get some good pictures of the daughter around giant
I
pumpkins.
saw them. They were adorable.
Oh, thank you. I know. Thanks to my wife, she's really adorable. All the good looks come from her. Yeah, but I've been playing a lot of Borderlands, and I was actually watching Ree's Twitch stream a little bit, and we kind of had a disagreement. I think Mose is the best character possible, and she is not the biggest fan of Mose, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Mose is the character that has like they call Iron Bear. It's like a mech suit that's the superpower, and that thing's the panic button for me. You're starting to die, hit the button, your health is completely back up. You got some time to save yourself, but I understand what you're saying. You can't deploy it. Yeah.
I'm forgetting who I am on board still in the
Oh, the
pre-sequel, but it's the girl with the cowboy hat on.
Nisha,
Yeah,
Yeah.
gunslinger.
I like her. She's awesome.
She's amazing.
But
I
die
chose
so
Handsome
fast.
Jack because I was like, let's play this a-hole.
I get Stockholm syndrome when I play that one. Like I feel
Oh, yeah.
really bad, and I fall in love with Jack, and I don't want anything to happen to him. It's so bad.
Well, it gives you that backstory of kind of why he became this evil douche.
Yeah.
Well,
And
it's-
Claptrap
it's the-
sucks in that
Wait,
one.
it's the Joker, but for video games, basically.
Kinda, he's
Okay.
kind of the Joker. Yeah, the new Joker
Yeah.
movie for that one.
There you go.
But yeah, otherwise it was just gaming up. Still been playing there's a big event going on Dragon Ball Legends on my phone,
Ooh.
so I was playing a bunch of that. Playing my Dragon Quest Builders 2, and I want to get back into playing Dying Light again because I want to prep for Dying Light 2, but I can't play that in front of my daughter because it's hyper violent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is Borderlands not hyper? I mean,
it's cartoony though.
Yeah.
I think it's
okay,
less.
yeah, that's right. Dying Light's really realistic.
They do it like sometimes when you go and melee the person, they'll explode into a fine mist. That's just like, it's like I mean, that's
Yeah.
not as bad as like, I don't know, desiccated people that are crawling around and missing their legs and still going at you and then biting your face. I'm like, that's nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
yeah. So I'm trying to control the content, and I can no longer shield her eyes from the screen. I used to put up a little blockade when I'd have her in the little swing, so she couldn't do anything. And I was like, "You can't go anywhere. You're a
Oh
tiny
my
human that can't move
gosh.
yet." And now she's just too active, and she wants to see everything and wants to see what's on my phone.
Oh
and
my
so
God.
I
Yeah.
know, but it was a good week. Good week of gaming, working, and get family time on the weekend.
Well, excellent.
So it was all right.
Ms. Rhea, how was your weekend?
It was good. Last week I was sick, probably just because I've been traveling a crap ton and haven't slept.
Everybody was getting sick though.
Yeah, I was going 90 miles an hour. So I did BT Hip Hop Awards in Georgia last week. And then flew
Is that what
back.
you did last week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
How
in
was
Georgia. For
that?
It's a fascinating show. That's all I can really say
All
about
right,
it.
all right.
I like a lot
Did
of.
Kanye grab the mic from Taylor?
No, Taylor was not invited to
This
this,
is
one.
the,
Was she not?
neither was Kanye because this is Hip Hop Awards, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a totally different world than general BET Awards.
Wow.
This
that's
is
very-
like SoundCloud rappers, like
That's right.
hardcore.
Rhea called
stuff.
you out, Kanye. You are not in hip hop.
He's not hardcore enough, basically.
Oh man, he used to be so good.
Uh,
He used to be real good.
Used
Used to be.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
anymore. He's crazy and terrible.
Yeah. So I did that. I got back from Georgia last week. Atlanta was real hot. And let me see. I finished Borderlands 3.
Oh, cool.
I loved
the first time
it.
through. Now you got the Vault Hunter mode.
Yeah, I loved it for the most part. There were a couple things that kind of bummed me out, but I loved it for the most part. I don't care for Mose. Mose can only deploy her mech suit in certain areas of the map, which is really irritating to me.
You just can't be up against a wall.
No, like literally there were parts, it's broken in the game.
Oh,
Like
there's so many
certain,
bugs.
Yeah,
There's
there's
so
certain
many
parts where
effing
I'd be
bugs.
out in a wide open space, like in a fight, like against the boss, trying to deploy my mech suit, and it just wouldn't deploy.
You
and
gotta
I'd be
jump
like,
and deploy.
And I'd be like, are you kidding me?
Because you
Right
just got to be
now?
away from the environment. I haven't really had issues with that. I have had issues with, it's like, okay, I'm going to try to follow my team there. And as soon as I try to teleport, the game freezes. I call it grinding booty lag when it goes, and then it shuts my Xbox off.
Oh.
It shuts my Xbox
Wow.
off so bad that I try to use the controller and it just blinks. I have to manually go and push the button like this is 1983 or something.
Yeah, like you don't have a remote.
I have not had any of the game breaking bugs actually. The only thing I've had is the really bad lag because they haven't optimized it yet on my PC. But other than that, like I actually haven't had the game breaking bugs. Yeah, mine's been pretty okay. So
Okay.
Yeah, they keep nerfing a lot of stuff, but they won't fix any of the broken shit.
yeah,
So
I did that. I saw the Joker.
what did you think?
I won't give spoilers, but I'm diehard Batman. I'm diehard like DC Universe is
You
my
guys,
thing.
Marvel.
I'll
Marvel
take
for
you to
life.
DC Comics when I have
Yes,
a chance.
it is my favorite. I loved it. I know why people hate it as far as first, like the tragic backstory of the Joker. People don't want that, blah, blah, blah. I still felt like this backstory, it was like tragic, but it wasn't. Like he was just kind of like a brat and it made him more diabolical to me, like on top of his insanity.
Flame Angel knows Marvel for life.
Yeah, no,
All right,
everybody. Oh, by the way, everybody up on the chat, we are powered by Mobcrush.
Yes.
If you didn't know that, I completely forgot to say that. Follow us at Coinboys Podcast, but also follow at Mobcrush, so that way you know when we're live.
I did
but-
cry during Borderlands 3. That's true.
But there's not. Is that what you're talking? I thought they were talking about Taylor Swift. I'm like, Taylor Swift always cries.
No, I cried during Borderlands, I think is what she's saying.
Really?
Yeah.
What made you cry?
The ending.
Oh, you
Really?
Yeah,
Well, there are two parts that made me cry, but the ending. Sirens are where my heart is,
Oh.
so it was a lot for me during this one.
Why didn't you pick the siren for your
And
character
also,
then?
I hate Tannis. I'll always hate Tannis. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I have to agree. I heard some people saying, just some commentary, that they felt like the villains are not as hateable as Handsome Jack. Handsome Jack,
No.
immediately you were like, this is a piece of shit,
Yeah.
and I hate him, and I want to kill him immediately. These two were just they were mostly annoying most
They
of the time.
grated on my nerves.
Oh, they really did.
Yeah, they were just irritating.
I mean, the
Like, I
voice
didn't
actors
hate
did a
them.
great job. They probably did the direction just fine. I just feel like I just wanted to shut them up. That was the main reason I wanted to kill them both.
But isn't that kind of how you feel about most? Never mind, I can't say that on a podcast, probably.
Wow.
Most of us people that are like
Subscribe to the premium version of the Coinboys to hear her commentary.
I feel like most of the people that are like vloggers, like that are the really annoying ones, you know, like you want them to stop. You're like, please turn your camera off and like stop documenting whatever it is you're documenting right now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the day and age we live in, which is why I think they thought it was topical. They're like, oh, let's make them like future, Twitch streamery,
Well, I can think
live
of like a
streamery.
couple of YouTubers that they reminded me of that I'm like, who gave them that platinum play button from YouTube? Like, take it away.
If you want to sub to Rihanna swearing, where should they find you? Everywhere.
Twitch.tv/reanimator.
There you go. Excellent. Well,
Fantastic.
well-
So tell us about your week.
well, so if you don't know,
Breathe in the smoke.
California had a party, and
It was lit.
it was definitely lit.
It was
Uh,
overlit.
So I woke up at 1 a.m. because I usually wake up at 2 a.m. anyways. And
works
for
weird
work,
hours.
because I work out of China, which we will be getting to very shortly.
Marlene.
But I wake up at 1 a.m. and I saw mountains ablaze right behind my house. I was like, well, this is the fourth or fifth time this has happened in my life, so I kind of knew the drill. I was waiting until I was told to leave my house, and then I got the notification saying you should probably leave. You don't have to, but
I
you
loaded
should
up my
probably
car
should. And I
just in
went,
case.
all right, I'm out. So I bounced. You were completely fine. But
I know, I was way south. And then Andy would actually get evacuated before I would, because he's a a good few miles
Oh,
north.
yeah.
Me
No.
too, because I'm just direct south of it.
Oh,
Yeah. Nobody. I was like, the flames were there. The smoke. My whole place was smoky for like the longest time.
Ugh,
Because of all the
that
wildfires.
barbecue smell.
And
it
again, I've
was
been through this
snowing
before.
ash.
Only one time out of all these times that I've been through this did our house actually start catching fire.
Oh, man.
This is when I lived in Silmar, but I moved to.
We were
to
looking at
another
houses
place.
in Porter Ranch back before the market got too high,
Yeah.
and I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 25 homes is pretty sad, but there's like 100,000 people got evacuated. That's just dramatic.
Well, for those of you who aren't in California, nobody's really ever died from something like this. One person did die from this past weekend, but it was from a heart attack.
Yeah, he had a heart attack while talking to firefighters.
Yeah,
and I was
because
like,
he was
they couldn't save him, I guess,
I
unfortunately.
guess
but
it was too late to get to him. But when you're woken up at 1 a.m. with a giant helicopter just going like over your head,
And the orange glow
right
of
above
hell
you. It's
over the
insane.
mountains. Yeah.
I woke up coughing, so I just stayed away from my place for a few weeks. I wish I could afford that. But a few days, and it was fine. This morning was the first time that I didn't smell like a campfire when I woke up. It was nice.
Yeah, the air quality was crap.
Yeah, it was awful.
I
was
tried to
like,
run
"There's
this
no way."
weekend and had a really bad asthma attack. Like 5 minutes into my
Yesterday
run.
or on Saturday?
It was on Saturday.
That was bold.
Or Friday.
Because my weather said very unhealthy air
Yeah.
quality.
I didn't
was
even
like,
think about it, and I didn't use my inhaler either before I went running. So I was like dying by the time I got home. I was like, "This was a
that's
very
rugged.
stupid idea."
Yeah, it's pretty. It was pretty nuts. What I felt bad for was I was watching the news and I saw one bunny come out of the flames, black. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a black
What?
bunny. It was completely black, and like it was dazed. And the reporter, being the jerk reporter that she was like, "How are you feeling?" Like she was like up in the bunny's face with the camera, and the bunny's like, "What's happening with my life right now?"
There was
I mean, I probably would have done that. The bunny.
I'm like, don't interview the bunny, leave the
But
bunny
in like a
alone.
real annoying voice, and then you put it straight on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So I took a picture. You can find that on my Instagram. And it was hysterical. But I was watching the news relentlessly just to make sure that the flames weren't going south. They were going
Yeah.
north. I was just a little bit south, like literally just a little bit south. But we were fine. It just is inconvenient.
It sure is.
Very-
7,500 acres burn.
No, it's sad.
I know.
Yeah, out of all that stuff, and I feel bad for those of you who had whose houses were burned down. My mother just went through it. I completely understand what you're going through. It's awful. But what saddened me about the whole situation was knowing how little I had to take with me. It's like you have to
Been
pack
watching a lot of
the
Marie
thing-
Kondo?
Yeah, like basically you had
Going
you-
minimalist?
That's what I feel like I am, an accidental minimalist. Like you have to pack up all the stuff that is so important to you, and I was like, okay, this is gonna take a little
You're
while.
like laptop,
yeah,
phone.
done. Pictures of my baby. That was it. Done. My passport and my birth certificate.
Yeah.
And underwear. Forget shirts. Don't need shirts, guys. Wherever you're at.
There's some bald naked guy running around in his underwear from the fires.
Apparently today is Love Being Bald Day.
Really?
So
Oh.
something along those lines. So it is my day. Celebrate me.
That's right.
Yay.
We celebrate you, Daniel.
But that was it. I just watched a lot of TV with my daughter the whole weekend because we had to stay indoors. It was a apocalyptic weekend. You couldn't go outside to breathe. So
Or you did like me, and that was real dumb.
that was a bad idea. Very bad idea.
Classic Ree.
Mr. Sam Proof, how was your weekend, sir?
I mean, we were close enough. We were dealing with a lot of that. We're in like Lake Balboa,
Okay.
and we
Yeah.
have friends in Porter Ranch, so
Got
we
it.
spent most of our weekend being like, how soon do we need to clean the guest room
Yeah,
for
yeah,
them to come here?
I w-
And then how much sooner before we all have to evacuate?
Yeah. No, I will say shout out to all my friends and family and all that stuff that definitely reached out to me to see how it was. I had people from China saying, "Hey, are you okay?" I had
wow.
people from Germany saying, "Hey, are you okay?" And I didn't realize I had friends in Germany. So I was like, "When did you leave?" And
Flame Angels from Germany.
yeah, oh, there you go.
Yeah, right on.
Oh,
So be my friend, Flame Angel. But yeah, that was really. So did you have anybody take you up on the guest room?
No,
situation?
we had really just offered it to one person, and they were like right on the edge of the evacuation line. So if
Okay.
it had come any farther south, we would have, had a, not only just it's like her 2 kids and her husband, they're also kitten fosters.
Oh no.
Oh, man.
So it would have been her cats, her dog, her chickens,
Oh, wow.
and her kittens. that
Wow.
she's fostering.
Well, your
would've been-
kitten stream would have
It
just
would've
been a
been-
party.
Your
It
home would have been like
lots.
Noah's Ark. Would have been
Oh,
nice.
Lanta.
Wow.
Did
Okay.
you really
well,
throw in that full house reaction there?
oh my Lanta. Isn't that from Little Rascals?
No, it's Full House.
It really
is?
DJ used to say it all the
Yep.
time. I've always
That's a
said that.
Candace Cameron move right there.
Yeah, I've always said it since I was young.
That's
like
so funny.
a kid.
Did you watch Fuller House?
I did, and I love it.
It's
It's
terrible.
terrible, and I
So
love
bad.
it. It's
Yeah,
so
I
bad,
couldn't
but
get
I
into
love
it.
it.
I have to say, how could it be campier than the original?
It's so
They are
bad, but I
hamming it
love
up,
it.
I grew
Okay.
up hearing about Jodie Sweetin's meth problems, so it kind of ruined Fuller House for me.
She's good now.
She's great now, and congrats
Yeah,
to you,
she-
Jodie Sweetin.
She even makes fun of it in the show. I do like that. Like the writers
Really?
writing
She talked
jokes
about her meth
stuff-
addiction?
Not specifically about meth, but about being like a wild child party girl and making bad choices. Like she like jokes about
My
all
God.
of that.
She
in the
does.
show.
She
Yeah.
does.
But let's all remember Jesse Spano's horrible addiction to caffeine pills.
Yes, that
And how
was
she
back
was
in
so
Saved by the Bell
excited.
days. She couldn't hide it.
We always had that. DJ got addicted to exercise and won and like overexerted herself and almost died on
That
a
is-
treadmill. or a
everybody
Stairmaster.
almost died from nothing that's not meth. in the
Michelle fell off
90s.
of a horse and got amnesia.
Everything's so bad.
Full House is ridiculous.
And she
Sorry.
met herself again, and it was both the twins for one time at
Ugh.
on
Yes.
Full House.
Oh, you remember that
That's right.
episode?
I'm a Full House fanatic. That's it. So, other than helping everybody else out, did you do any game? Did you play any board games? I like to hear the board games that you play.
You know, we didn't actually do board games this
Then
week.
you
My kids
disappointed me
were
just
so
right now.
stir crazy
Oh,
from like
yeah.
having to stay in the whole time that like they were just a handful. We couldn't like do anything like that. The closest we got was there's this like it's basically like building blocks kind of
Okay.
thing, but you get cards, and so you have to like you look at it for 10 seconds and then you have to replicate the design.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
like memory on crack. Like memory
Yeah.
like sped up. Whoa,
That's actually part of an IQ test.
that's I
Yeah.
would have failed that IQ. It's like you got negative
I did
points.
really good on that in the IQ test. So.
Wow, that's I need to get that game from you. I need to start teaching. My daughter likes blocks now, so I got to
Oh,
start.
all right.
figuring
Yeah,
that out.
I don't remember what it's called offhand, but I can find it easily.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Because right now my daughter's at the point where she grabs a card, she looks at it, she goes 3. I'm like, that's the number 7. She's like 3. I'm like, that's letter A. That's
You know-
letter A. We're on this.
My 4-year-old does this now, where she'll like have a book and she'll like point and be like, "John went over to," like she's got it memorized,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
she's just randomly
It's
pointing,
not even the right
on
one.
the right page.
Love
Maybe
it.
it's the right book. It's the
Perfect.
best.
Oh,
Perfect.
that's funny.
Well, thank you all for giving us the time to talk about our weekends. It was really fun over the weekend. But we got a good meaty bit of block news today, and I kind of want to get into it because
Yeah.
it's going to be fun. But let's go ahead and head straight into block news.
Pew.
Yeah, excellent. So I started the Coinboys with producer, by the way. If you don't know this, almost 2 years ago, or over, no, I don't know, almost 2 years ago, I think.
There's been a lot of episodes.
It's been a lot of episodes
Yeah.
on the audio podcast, and we started off as a cryptocurrency podcast. And the reason why is because we felt the technology is something that is absolutely needed, and we felt it was needed
Life-changing.
for life changing, and it was needed for the future. So
Aside
we-
from buying stuff off Silk Road with Bitcoin.
exactly, and listen, it wasn't an anonymous way
Oh,
to just
man.
buy drugs. It was
Yes,
nice.
I know.
But now there's something happening in Hong Kong that is actually bringing all this stuff to light, bringing all the reason why we started the show in the first place to light. So I kind of wanted to dive a little bit deep into what's happening in Hong Kong, because if you don't know what's happening in Hong Kong, you probably should.
Yeah, it's been a lot of protests. It's been going for like 20 weeks or something.
Yeah, it started
It's-
back in June.
Yeah, that's
Back in
the
June.
tenacity of the protesters. But
It's insane.
I know, without digging too deep into politics, there are a lot of side topics, and it obviously affected gaming.
Yeah.
And that news was huge.
It got into
And-
gaming, it got into technology. So we're gonna go into it. But before we go into the meat of it, I just want to kind of give you a little quick background as to what's kind of going on in Hong Kong. Hong Kong, when you think of Hong Kong, you probably think China. And the truth is, it's not actually China. It's a little bit independent of China, because it used to be under.
Is and isn't.
Yes, at the same time. It used to be under Japan for like 3 years during World War II, and then it went over to Britain.
It was a British
It became
colony.
a British colony. And then in 1997, so not that long ago,
No.
1997, it went back to China. Britain gave it back to China under the agreement that they could keep their laws. They can keep exactly.
They make
what's
their own
happening.
laws. They keep their judicial system. They have their own currency. They have their own immigration policy. It's like, so they were part of China, but separate.
Exactly.
So not under the whole governmental rule of China.
And Flame Angel will be getting into that in a real quick second, trust me. But so what happened was China. The reason why they're protesting now, and they protested several times. The whole thing is Hong Kong has access to a lot of things that people in China don't have access to, like Google.
Oh yeah, they don't have the oppressive firewall that mainland China has. They have open internet access, which is great. And I love Hong Kong. I've been to Hong Kong. I was actually there 2 years ago with my wife when they were having the 20-year celebration of the reclamation of their sovereignty.
Yeah, which was 2
And even then, there was people holding signs and wearing shirts saying, Hong Kong is not China. And I was like, oh man, there's some stuff bubbling right now.
Yeah.
And I guess, I think this has been happening for a while, that China has slowly been exerting more and more control to try to just envelop and basically make Hong Kong literally southern China.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying their damnedest. So what they did back in February was create a bill that said that anybody who breaks a law, China can extradite, or Hong Kong needs to extradite that prisoner or that person who broke the law to China or to Taiwan. It was one of those two. And Hong Kong people weren't having it.
Well, yeah, and that's just because they know that if you speak out, they have more free speech in Hong Kong than they do in China.
Absolutely.
So if you speak out against China and you're in Hong Kong, they're going to be like, oh, look, you have an unpaid parking ticket from X amount of days ago, arrested, or something like that. And you'll just disappear. If they don't like your political protester, they're like, nope, mainland, and goodbye.
Yeah.
So it's...
So I don't know where I mean, I personally don't know where I fall politically on that one because I'm still a little bit confused on the law per se. But that's why they're protesting, and it's among other things. It's just they feel that their independence is being impeded on, so they took to the streets in an amazing fashion. What China is now facing is a different thing than they've had to face in the past in terms of protests, because the technology that we currently have is so advanced. We are all digitally connected. We have folks who are watching us from around the world, and I thank you all for joining us.
We see you guys in the chat, by the way.
We see you all in the
we're
chat,
going to get to it. Please, keep on chatting, keep engaging, because
let us know what you want us to get to. But we're all really connected now in ways that we have never been. I teach people every night. I teach children every night in China how to speak English from my home in LA.
Yeah. It's a crazy concept.
It's an interesting thing. And so China doesn't like that per se. So China's not the only one who does this. Russia does this, and to an extent, America's starting to do it as well. Under this administration, they're trying to control that technology. They're trying to control everything. So I wanted to kind of go into what they're trying to do now. More so than any other time, and thanks to this technology, we're getting a lot of movements and on all that stuff out in the open, like Black Lives Matter, Me Too, things like that are kind of getting into being more shown in the limelight. It doesn't mean that none of this stuff wasn't happening before. It just means we're now in tune and seeing a lot of it firsthand and being able to support each other in ways we weren't able to support each other before for things that hit us up, or things that really make us feel. So first off, what technology is in use right now in China? Facial recognition.
Oh man, they're like the biggest surveillance state in the world.
Yes.
Yeah, it's facial recognition is used insanely a lot over there. Part of the reason that protesters are carrying umbrellas, because that's how they would hide their face from facial recognition scanners.
Exactly, and right now, I don't know if Sam has put it up yet or not, but they use facial recognition for everything, and they just implemented the fact that you have to use facial recognition if you're going to log into the internet as a Chinese citizen. First off, facial recognition has a lot of flaws, but China uses it also for their social ranking.
Oh yeah, the social ranking. Yeah, you get rated on who you're friends with, what your credit score is.
It's basically
if you can get credit.
If you have a crappy Facebook, you can't travel. It's basically how it works.
Yeah, that's true. Well, actually, if you use Facebook, you can't travel.
Well, that's also another thing. You can't use Facebook at all.
Yeah.
On there, but like that's essentially what the social ranking is, just to see how you are as a societal member. Crazy. And the reason why they want the people to log in with their face on the internet is to make sure that you are the person on that on that computer looking up those things, and so they can track you.
That'd be so much better for dating apps.
it would save a lot of catfishing, would it?
Actually, would that be a dogfish when the guy does it? I thought catfish is with the girl. I don't know.
Oh my god, I didn't know that there's a difference.
Oh, yeah.
But Another thing that Hong Kong just recently implemented because of these things is they need facial recognition to see who the protesters are in Hong Kong. So a lot of Hong Kong citizens are using masks to hide themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But they just implemented, for the safety of the citizens, a anti-mask bill in Hong Kong.
For Halloween.
Yeah, I know. It's so sad.
I mean,
They're
nobody
just
else really
celebrating
calls it
early.
a
Trick or treat. They can't trick or treat at all. So that's one thing that's happening along the lines of the anti-face mask bills is pretty insane.
That's insane.
In addition to that, Hong Kong is exerting or not Hong Kong, but China is trying to strong arm a little bit companies like Apple and Google, which are in.
Oh yeah, it's because anybody who has their stuff manufactured over in China and Chinese investment money is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like they have their money in so much things. So if they invest in your company, they're gonna put pressure on you, or these companies feel obligated to just like bend the knee to these people, which is
Yeah. And somebody pointed out the irony is that they do
Annoying.
use masks to cut down on the spread of disease, and they actually wear masks in China a lot because of
and also because of the pollution.
the
It's so
pollution.
bad.
and all
The
that
air
stuff.
quality
So-
is horrible there.
Exactly.
I guess forget the air quality out there. But so Apple had an app that was the Hong Kong Maps.
Oh yeah, it was HK Live, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And what
HK
it
Maps
would
Live.
do
Yeah.
is it would tell the citizens where the police were.
Well, yeah, they could mark. It's an app program. They can just go in there and they can mark. Oh, here's droplets of water. That means they're using hoses to like hose down the protesters.
Yes.
As a crowd control thing. They put a doggy thing, and that was telling you where the police were. They had like other ones that was saying people were actively being locked up, like they're being snatched. They do a little dinosaur because I guess there's some squad called the Raptors that there was ones just to snatch protesters and like get them out of there and everything. So yeah, they're marking up this map, and Apple initially pulled it.
Initially. And then after a lot of blowback, especially because their reasoning for it was not too sound. We have Waze. Do you guys use Waze out here?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It said like, oh, you're using this
You
to
don't use
evade the
Waze?
police.
I hate Waze.
I do too. Thank you. But anyways, we still have Waze.
It makes you do some sketchy left turns. Like, yeah, take a left on Wilshire
Yeah.
at 5:30 p.m. when you're at a stop sign. And I'm like,
You
this
have
is
to know
happening.
when you can trust Waze.
Yeah.
I don't use Waze. I just use Google Maps.
But one of the things on Waze that you can see is where the police are at times.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can say, oh look, there's a
They do that
there's a
on
police
Google
officer
Maps
hidden.
now too.
Oh, do
You
they?
can add speed
Google
traps
owns
on-
Waze.
Yeah, you can do speed traps
Yeah,
on Google
Google
They
Maps.
own
Waze.
each other. I don't understand why they don't just implement the whole thing. But Waze drains your battery far faster than anything else. Oh
That's
my gosh.
very, very true.
So
and it keeps working in the background when I close the app and I'm get out of here.
Yeah, that's awful. A Waze is, I guess, is it? No, I thought Waze was an Israeli app, and I thought it was global. But somebody was asking if it was just an American app. I thought it was global.
I thought it was American,
Maybe I'm
and I
wrong.
swore that Google owns them. I also know of an app. My friend told me about it. It's called like DUI Locator. There's an app
I love
that
it.
if you're like, I'm gonna go drive drunk. Where's the DUI checkpoints? Oh, good, I can avoid them.
I
I'm like,
love it.
okay, Apple, that's cool.
Thank
Let
you.
people drive drunk and not
Yeah.
get arrested for it.
Because
But-
that's safe.
Yeah, and it's not like people are pinning tracking devices on like police cars, so it like literally live tracks them on that map in Hong Kong. It's like
No.
people are just saying, boop,
Be
hey, look, here's a
careful.
little picture of this. There's a little. It's just an updated, crowd participated app, and they're just using it for that,
So-
and they're using Telegram to talk.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll get into what they're using to talk in a moment. But so that was when it sounds so. Basically, Apple said okay, and the developer kind of said it's intended to keep everybody safe, not to hurt anybody. So Apple said all right, they put it back on, but basically it was under protest that they reinstated that app. Google on a weird spectrum banned a game. If you can check that out, the game was basically the name of the game was where is it called? I forgot the name of the game actually. Where is it at? But anyways, it was a pro Hong Kong game. Do you know what it was? Did you read it by chance, Sam? I think it was called the Lives of Our Nation or something like that. It was very pro Hong Kong, very pro history.
Was it the
of
Google
of
Play
game.
Store?
It was a Google Play Store,
Huh.
and it was very pro protesters, basically teaching you like its history. And Google removed it. But you know what they didn't
Interesting.
remove? That Hong Kong Maps.
yeah,
that thing
no.
on there.
Yeah, Google Play didn't do anything.
I don't know, but Google's already swaying towards China and trying to do what they can to appease them. In fact, to the point where recently a lot of the Google workers protested and walked out, staged a walkout of Google because they're working on some sort of secret Chinese project that they aren't approving of. The developers
Well,
are.
Google is also, I mean, they're kind of obsessed with their surveillance state too. They're doing like a test thing where there's like a whole town that nobody needs keys or anything like that because it'll just recognize your face and you can just like it'll unlock the door for you. And it's supposed to be the smart town. And I'm like, that's creepy. Somebody in the chat said Orwell, and I'm like, yeah, that's definitely some Orwellian bullshit right there. So
it's insane. And of course they're getting some blowback from Americans, but the thing is, Americans are kind of under Google's thumb right now. We got to figure out a way out of that.
Yeah, they're
soon.
too powerful. But yeah. But here's where
everything
comes in.
Yes, and we'll be getting to that in a moment because we have to definitely talk about the technology that we have now that we should probably start using for ourselves very, very soon. But so that was just a few apps, but then over last week, gaming was introduced. Now, gaming, there are two things in China that actually in China that it's very difficult to stop, or at least China allowed, and that's gaming to an extent and the NBA. I'm not going to get into the NBA because that is not this show.
That's right.
But it's pretty interesting. Everybody in China loves basketball, basically.
Yeah.
I have a lot of students who know more about the players than I do, and that's insane. Because the games are on at 2 a.m. over there. What are they doing up? But gaming is a global thing. You all have friends around the world that you play with.
Oh, gaming is enormous in China too. Mobile gaming is like a phenomenon over there. Mobile gaming is like more popular than any consoles, probably because they don't allow a lot of consoles.
Yeah, they don't.
But it just makes it easily inaccessible. So, I mean, the whole gaming thing. Do you want me to get into it?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, cool. As a lot of people know, especially gamers that are watching.
And on the chat.
That the whole thing that went down with the Hearthstone tournament with Blitzchung, just, during his interview, and he says, liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our times. They banned him from the tournament for a year initially, and then took away his prize money. And then after some backlash, they finally go, okay, we'll ease up on that. It's only a 6-month ban, and you can have your prize money back. But that only came after Boycott Blizzard was trending. There was a walkout of employees at Blizzard HQ. And apparently morale's already pretty low in Blizzard.
Yeah.
So about 30 people all did kind of a walkout, and then they had letters they wanted delivered up to the CEO and whatnot. And even the two speakers that were interviewing the guy, they got fired.
But hopefully they're going to be rehired real soon. Somebody just asked on the chat if they were rehired. I don't know quite yet, but
even another commentator, he said, I will never work with Blizzard again. I quit. I'm not gonna. He was supposed to be a commentator at BlizzCon coming up. I don't know if he's changed his stance now because he said, you can. He's like, you can punish him in some way, but this is way too harsh. And then they also made the statement, they're like, oh, this was not politically charged. It's just the rules. You can't talk about politics. It's like, it has nothing to do with China or Hong Kong right now.
So the question becomes why? Why did they do this? And I want to introduce to you a company called Tencent.
Tencent.
Tencent, for those of you who don't know, is basically the biggest gaming company in the world.
In the entire world.
In China.
If you their money is everywhere.
Yeah, if you have a company in China, China owns your company.
That's correct.
That's how this works. And so you do exactly what the Chinese government tells you to do, and that's how it works. If you're willing to sell everybody else out, you can make gobs of money in China. So I just want to kind of go over a little bit of what Tencent owns. Tencent owns 100% of Riot Games.
Yep. So League of Legends already released a statement that there will be no political commentary allowed.
There you go.
For the League of Legends World Championship that's coming up.
They also have 80% of Grinding Gear Games, which is a Path of Exile. I guess if you
it's one of lesser knowns.
40% of Epic Games.
But in a turn of events, Epic, Epic,
because it's not 50%. It's not 51%.
Well, yeah, he even said, he was like,
owned.
Feel free to express whatever opinions you have, and especially if it's human rights matter. Go ahead.
Yeah,
he's like, we're not going to ban people from Fortnite for speaking their minds. I'm like, bravo, Epic. And
Epic did something right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, listen, if Chinese pulled 40%, if they just got their investment out of there, like 40%, we pull it out, that could really hurt a company.
It could.
I mean, it's Epic.
But
Fortnite
I think
is
Epic
an
will be
unstoppable monster. So
I think
they'll
they're going to call the bluff on that one.
This season's going to go extra long because we need to get money back.
Yeah. And then 11.5% of Bluehole Games, which is Players Unknown and Battlegrounds.
Oh.
They also own
PUBG.
5% of Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, that's why I was so wondering, like, how
Only
quickly
5%
Blizzard
though.
bent
Yeah,
their
that's
knee
such
for
a
that.
small stake.
Yeah.
And they bent
They
the
actually
knee.
used to own
They
about
had to.
15, and then they ended up downscaling to about 5%.
I think Disney owns more of Activision. Do they? I don't know if that deal ever went through. But anyways.
Yeah, I didn't look into the whole
but
percentages
nonetheless,
again.
Tencent is a huge, and just as a side note, they own some of Reddit as well. Just because I learned that.
Love Reddit.
They're all over the place. Tencent is a huge thing, and again, everybody wants a piece of China. Everyone, gaming, entertainment, because there's money to be made there.
There's over 1 billion people there. Of course, there's money
Exactly,
to be made
a
there.
lot of money to be made there. But at what costs are we as citizens not of China willing to give up certain rights to which we have on certain games, on certain things?
It gets messy.
Basically.
And I will say also, just on the Blizzard thing, that on the Blizzard forums, 2 users got banned for 1,000 years each.
What
They banned 2 people. Yes, there's a Hearthstone forum, and this guy, or poster named Daros, was handed out a millennium-long ban for posting the words, "By the way, liberate Hong Kong," in the opening of a thread titled "Enjoying Your Yuans, Blizzard," alongside a mock-up image of a Hearthstone card. When played, will silence all democracy minions and add 5 coins to your hand.
No, that's so crazy. As soon as
That's
this,
poking the bear.
as soon as this happened, though, if you remember Gods Unchained, Gods Unchained immediately said, "We'll pay you the money, and you are fully welcome into Gods Unchained," because this is where decentralized
Another card battle game, Gods
Yes.
Unchained, is actually a really good one.
This is where
Yeah.
decentralized blockchain technology is absolutely necessary, because you cannot stop anything that is decentralized.
There is no single point of failure. There is no over-controlling entity. It's. I mean, and there's benefits to having, if you like to trust companies, which we do all to a certain degree. Then centralized is fine, but decentralized takes away the trust. We don't need to trust anything; it will just continue on. And unless you can shut down every single computer that's validating the blockchain, that's really hard to do, then you can't stop it, which is good. It's censorship resistant. It's amazing.
It's why we started this podcast.
Decentralized blockchain is basically what we wanted our democracy within a republic to be.
Exactly, and it actually can be that.
For those that need an applicable everyday comparison to politics.
Yeah, we have a lot of issues. We're kind of deep seated into a lot of things that somebody said. That Americans we take the phones and cheap clothes and all this other stuff. There's a lot of things that we need to step away from. If you are for more human rights, but we're also in kind of like a pickle. Like, for example, I want an electric car, but I can't afford one right now.
I want an electric car too.
There's a lot of things that I want right now.
Yeah.
But now I want to take a look at the other side of the tech. What's being used to protest against? Against the government and kind of try to way to skirt your way around. One of the things that I thought was really interesting was mesh networking messaging apps.
I am so fascinated on how that's going to revolutionize.
They are currently using right now at this moment, and I want to say that again. This is something that we. This is all happening now. This is not something that will happen in the future. This is something that's happening now and you can use now. Mesh networking, for those of you who don't know, is basically a direct connection wirelessly from your phone to the computer to somebody else's phone to the TV to everything around the world. And if you connect everything all together, you could actually run the internet that way with no disruption. And under any circumstances, it can't be disrupted.
That's got to terrify China.
It does terrify China because that's how they're messaging each other. That's how they're getting. That's how they're telling everybody where to go, and it's very cryptic too.
And if China can't try to intercept every message being sent in China, they freak out.
Yes.
So
they're like, "What's going on here?" Another thing that they're using is blockchain money. They're using cryptocurrency because they don't want to be tracked on what they're buying for any reason and where they're at.
Yeah, and I've heard that Hong Kong ATMs are running out of money and stuff like that. They're trying to deplete them. It's crazy.
Now, Cryptic Response just asked, isn't there an exploit if one entity has over 50% of the blockchain network of a specific coin? The answer is yes.
That's called a 51% attack.
Yes, it's a 51% attack, but we can retro back the history of that from that point of attack, go back in time in the blockchain and do what's called a hard fork, which means we separate that attack chain and keep the good chain, so to speak.
Yeah, which does require either a unanimous decision by all the miners and supporters of the blockchain, or it's depending on the company. Sometimes it can be made as a decision of person it's a centralized decision for a decentralized network, which is kind of interesting.
It's strange.
I know,
but
it's possible.
It is possible. Quantum. There's lots of ways to hack it, but it takes a lot. And if it's a very solid thing, if it's used globally, it's going to take a whole lot for you to do something like that.
And if it was used globally, I think if it's for Bitcoin, if somebody could do that, it would actually devalue the amount of Bitcoin they could control, because everybody's going to be like, all right, this is trash because it's not being decentralized and validated in a decentralized fashion. So it makes no sense to 51% attack Bitcoin.
Built-in checks and balances, which is really cool.
Exactly.
And one thing that I want to encourage everybody out there watching to start learning how to do, start learning how to work, or what are known as Daps. And I wanted to have Aaron explain a little bit more, because he uses Daps more than I do.
Yes.
On what they are.
So Daps are just decentralized applications, and that they just use a blockchain to run the application. And depending on, and there's a couple that have been made already, like it's solutions to, let's say YouTube has their, where's all the money that YouTube goes? I mean, they pay out some to their people, and some people make a lot of money, but all that money is going straight up to the top. Now, what some of these dApps wanted to do is they wanted to give the content creators and even the people participating, if there's ads coming in, you click, okay, cool, I'll watch the ad. It supports the content creator, and you get a little cut as well. Or it's like, you do this, people are like, I like your stuff. You can tip them and stuff like that. So people just kind of create these dApps and just let it be. And that way it's being validated by people. Like DLive was one. DTube.
DTube and DLive.
Oh, yeah, DLive. But yes, DTube was specifically an answer to YouTube censoring people, pulling people's content down. There's been attempts to do one similar to even like just kind of like Reddit or stuff like that, or like Steemit.
Yeah,
was another one.
The Reddit.
Now there is a drawback to these though, because what happened with Steemit is the first few people to get in, they all became Steemit whales. So they all started getting this Steem coin, and then when you have more reputation and coin in there, every vote that you give has a lot more weight to it. Now the problem is the first few people that got in there, they became Steem whales, and they were like the richest people, so they would all collaborate,
controlling the thing.
Yeah, they ended up completely like cornering the market. So if you got in there as a new content creator, and they're all like, no, don't like his stuff. Nobody would like your stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, like this, and then there's a flood of all this like attention to it.
Exactly. So
but no one's controlling it. It's kind of anarchist, but that is kind of the whole point. No one's going to censor it. One of the guys I know on Twitter was taking old reruns of Adult Swim, the classic ones when it was really, really good, and he keeps uploading them all onto DTube. And so I want to go on there, and I'm like, oh, I want to watch some C-Lab 2021. I can go watch it, and I'll give him a little 5-cent tip or whatever. So he just has them all up there and going.
Yeah,
so no copyright's going to fall down. Sorry, Hollywood.
It's there's a lot of things that are good and bad. There's a lot of bugs. It's not perfect yet, and it's not going to be perfect for a little while. But it won't get perfect. It won't become perfected, and it won't have your opinion unless you start using it now. So definitely check it out.
We must destroy the Winnie the Pooh images.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Somebody, for people that don't know what dApps are, don't understand them, like what is the best way for them to research how to use them, or what ones to use, or that sort of thing?
That's actually a really good question. There's new ones being built all the time, and some are cash grabs. Some of these creators doing it, they're like, I'm going to get a little cut of every action that happens here. And some are a little flimsy like that. There's other ones like even Everpedia is another one. It's a Wikipedia that's put on a blockchain, so that's immutable. So it's just like these applications that people know how to program on. They can decide if they're going to use it on the Ethereum network or the EOS network, or there's different blockchains that already exist that welcome people to start creating apps on there. So you can just literally Google top dApps, 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 top dApps, and it'll kind of give you, and the ones that are used the most are generally going to be the most reputable.
Okay.
Some of them have some extra steps, like you have to first of all buy cryptocurrency, and then you have to go on this exchange and exchange this cryptocurrency for the specific one to be able to go on and actually use this step. So user friendly, it is not yet, but the technology is very useful.
Yes, so. it's a little bit difficult to research on how to start, basically.
It's a rabbit hole,
but it becomes a rabbit hole, and you'll become like us, and you'll be listening to us a lot more. I would recommend, if you want to start learning how to use a little one, is to play a blockchain game like Gods Unchained.
Gods Unchained. I was playing Crypto Space Commander was one of those. It's a little space exploration game, going mining some asteroids, then trading in space, or be a pirate, and it's just all that stuff gets. And like I always talk about, being able to keep your assets. So anything you earn, my ship, it belongs to me. So as soon as I want to take it off the game and put it into my little phone app, and then I want to go sell it to Ree, she can pay me real world cash or cryptocurrency, and I can sell my
And-
stuff. I own it.
Or
It's my
I'm
shit.
going to get Sam into something called crypto kitties because
Hang on.
he loves kitties. He loves the
Crypto
kitties.
kitties.
It's crypto kitties is kind of gross actually.
Oh,
Just
that sounds
it's
sad now.
It's
no,
an
It sounds like
online
what Jelly's
beanie
talking
baby.
about.
you're basically breeding cards of kittens.
Well, you
It's
get
like-
like rare stats and
So
another
it's like
rare one.
Tamagotchi kind of.
Tamagotchi. Yes,
Okay.
it's a really cool
pretty
Tamagotchi. Yeah.
except less function.
Except
More for
you
show and
you
less
can't
for
feed
go.
it and it can't die, which I
okay.
thought was interesting for Tamagotchis. It broke children's hearts everywhere.
Is there a Tamagotchi app?
There is a Tamagotchi app. I know there is.
Uh-oh.
There's no D app, but there's.
I'm gonna get one.
I'm gonna actually say that Jelly Monkey, yes, there are some stuff people can put really unsavory things on these uncensored networks. What they generally do at that time is they do allow the community to vote to take some stuff down, so therefore it becomes a decentralized choice. No one person is like, "Oh, I'm going to take this down," but everybody goes, "No, get
So
this out of here."
it isn't completely 100% like everybody free for all. There is a governance to everything, and it means that you as a user are involved in that governance. You have to vote, you have to decide, and once we get 51% of the vote, once the majority votes, that thing is gone, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Some things are a little bit easier. I'm going to assume that child pornography and some other things are going to be easy to take off. Other things may be a little bit more like
Yeah, then you
on
get
the
into
line of
politics
sort
and
of
tribalism and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and that's the stuff that we don't need to be censoring and doing takedowns and stuff.
Yeah,
of,
certain
so.
things when it's on that edge, we'll figure it out. I'm hoping that flat earthers get off, but we'll see what happens.
Oh my
And
God.
as
The hours I've wasted with
on flat Earth
earthers.
videos, oh, they're the greatest. Is Kingdom Hearts banned in China? Only if they ban complete. Well, only probably the Winnie
Was Winnie the Pooh in
the
Kingdom
Winnie the Pooh
Hearts?
areas. You can't go to the 100-acre woods like I did over the summer. So everybody, but yeah. Hit us up, thecoinboys.com, at thecoinboys.com. That's what we are. Sorry, thecoinboys at thecoinboys.com is our email. If you have any questions on this, we will be getting back into it and kind of teaching people how things are going, how this will work. Hopefully in the future it'll get more user-friendly, but right now you got to do a little bit of work. But you as gamers, you as technology people will grasp this. We'll get it, and you will be able to use this
gaming
to
is
your
going to be
advantage.
integrated. I just really think it's important for you guys to understand it because right now, if you ask me to explain exactly how the internet works, I couldn't do that great of a job, but I use the internet every single day. You're going to be using blockchain every single day in the future, but even having a basic grasp of it and just on the ground floor of it coming in, I think is going to be beneficial because I think that's where all of our life-changing stuff is going to come from.
And we'll end on this note that Phantom Rogue said. 70% of sex toys sold worldwide are made in China, yet I can't watch the NBA on Weibo. That makes me giggle. Thank you for that one, sir.
Oh.
So that's what's going on in Hong Kong, why you should kind of be paying attention to it, because that is starting to leak here. It is affecting things that we use all the time. It's affecting your rights, your privacy, your everything. And, you know, I don't know how you feel about Trump or not. Most of you know where I stand. But it's basically, Trump is the first, but probably won't be the last in terms of government to try to do some sort of censorship, try to sort of take some sort of
Try
control.
to censor the internet again.
So
Yeah,
there's that.
that's true.
So it's our fight, guys. Let's do this. With that being said, let's go ahead and start fighting with Coinboys Play. We are playing. Arms.
We're bringing back arms. We played arms before, but now this is actually one of the different modes they have. This is arms volleyball.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is this an update or something like that they did? Or
No,
has
they've
it
had
always
this
been a
one.
part
It
of
just
this?
isn't the fighting
Ree,
one.
go
So
for it.
Miss Ree,
I actually won a round of arms last time.
yes,
You did.
arms is very friendly for my underwear riding up on me.
Well,
Arms is
Very underwear friendly.
very
Why is there candy corn here?
this has been
hold on.
instituted.
So this has been instituted since last week. Apparently, Ree didn't see the whole show.
Dun dun dun.
There
Should
is
you
a
lose-
penalty for losing,
There's a penalty.
and you will have to consume.
I hate candy corn.
That's why.
Why do
we
you think?
chose-
What do you think I'm going to give you? Gummy bears?
He
Candy
ate
corn
a
is-
piece of black licorice and candy corn at the exact same time last week.
Because,
It was-
but then Sam took all the
Side
candy.
note: I took that home, and my wife ate it all before I got back to it. And I was like, "What the?
Wait.
That was,
Thank God, black
oh.
licorice is disgusting.
Wait, two people that like black licorice?
Did you? Is that why you got married? Was it like?
Yeah, that was it. Like,
All right,
yeah, we really like Dinosaur Jr. and Black Licorice. That
Done.
was done.
Done.
Ooh, Dinosaur Jr. is great, though.
So should you lose, you have to consume a candy corn. There is a consequence. You cannot tank.
You got to eat that sweet earwax.
No, no, Nesdig, you
All right,
cannot.
choose your fists.
No black licorice. The answer is no. It's all gross. So you choose your fist. You choose your
Some
thing.
drift right there.
Yeah, what's happening?
Okay, there you go. Yeah, so
Again, I would like to open up. We do have peeps left over from Easter. Still in the package. There's
Probably will be good forever.
That is yeah,
Okay.
they're probably good forever.
Sorry,
That is
I'm trying
another
to
option.
I'll be
It's insanity.
Sparky, I guess. Slapmander?
Just
Just
choose
pick 'em.
what?
Whatever. I don't remember how to do. Okay. I
Oh. That's
So you got to
interesting.
hit the ball,
Hit it.
and it can't touch the ground.
Hit it.
Keep hitting it.
No.
Oh, yes.
What am I doing?
Oh,
Okay.
you're
die
gonna
on
eat
the
candy
serve?
corn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
Get there. Get underneath.
No.
There
Okay.
you go. Hit
Why
it again.
can't- I don't know how to. There we go.
Woo!
oof.
The first serve, I won't. I didn't realize you could die on the serve.
No.
This is not like tennis.
No.
But if
No,
you
no,
die
no.
here, it's gonna be a bad situation.
Yes. Oh my God, I got it. Oh.
Nope.
Yes.
Enjoy the candy corn. Oh wait, is it a whole match? How many? What is it till? Oh, 22 seconds left.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. I spiked on you. That was
Nice.
so great.
Come
No.
on.
No.
Don't make me do it,
no,
Ree.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Dang it.
Oh, 9 seconds and you guys are tied. Do it.
No.
Yeah.
Boom.
Eat the
Gummit.
sweet
Our
candy
first
corn.
candy corn loss. Enjoy that
I'm
one
just
there.
gonna swallow it like a pill.
No, that's too big to swallow like a pill.
Watch me.
How does it taste? Oh, you didn't
Swallowed
taste
it like a pill.
All right, Daniel's up.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
will not chew that candy corn.
I can't believe you
Kind of
just
stuck in
swallowed.
my throat though.
I was gonna say it's a big piece.
That was a big piece.
Yeah, that was a very bad idea. It's not the first time somebody swallowed something really big on the internet, but nonetheless, it should not.
Daniel!
What happened? What happened? It's the internet. I don't know what to tell you.
It's.
And how do I choose? I think I did choose.
Yep.
How do I choose?
I would eat the
Done,
peeps
done.
first. I love peeps.
Oops. There. Sorry. Hit A again.
Hitting
Peeps
A
are
again.
great.
Okay, done.
Peeps are not great. They make marshmallows worse.
Yeah.
Like they actually lose the consistency of like good marshmallows.
I think they're amazing. I love the grittiness of the sugar on them.
I have a friend who likes to gross people out. So he actually ate. He bites the head off Peep, and then he'll put a Spanish olive on there, a pimento stuffed olive, and then like pour soy sauce on it, and then eat it. Just because he likes to freak people out. And
I would do that. That sounds good. Sweet and salty.
Man, see,
It's like sweet tofu with an olive and soy sauce.
I mean, it's one thing to do like a fig and prosciutto pizza, but like that's too
sounds
vague.
like
Vegan
something-
prosciutto pizza?
that sounds like something.
What are
that
you
is-
doing,
My-
Sam?
That is my standard. It
That is not a
delicious.
standard.
In
it's
New
amazing.
Zealand, there's a place called Hell Pizza. It's the best.
I have seen their ads.
I love Hell. I ate there all the time when I lived in New Zealand. But at Hell Pizza, they have one that has apricot, pine nuts, and cream cheese on it. And it is the best
What are you
pizza.
practicing this?
So good.
I haven't actually
Sounds
practicing
alright.
because my daughter's brother has has this and arms, and I was like, oh, I need to play.
I just couldn't get myself to move yet. I started to get the hang of it too close to the end.
Gotta get back.
It's also way too far from the net.
Yes, finally, I'm on the board.
You've been on the board.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Sorry, I'm
spread.
more on the board. No!
Boom!
Dang. How
Candy
did I lose to
corn.
Daniel?
Candy
Been practicing. I
corn. I cannot have black licorice and
read.
candy corn
I
anymore.
am weird, Flame Angel, and I'm okay with that.
Oh my goodness. Let's bring it on. Are you ready, Ree?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you ready to have some candy corn? Do you want a rematch?
Yeah,
Change
let's just
fighter?
rematch. I don't
All right.
care.
I don't know how this
It's
works.
not that bad.
It's not that bad. Did it sweeten up over the
Candy
time?
corn is disgusting.
It's not that bad.
Oh.
Tastes like childhood.
It tastes like childhood. You had an awful childhood.
What is Guardian?
What is Guardian? Oh, Guardian, it puts up a shield. I would suggest picking the very top one, Biffler, for both.
Not
Okay.
not the Guardian, probably.
Because the Ice Dragon, it stays out there and then shoots a laser, so it kind of gets stuck, and you're like,
I don't think I'm holding this the right way.
You have to point like it's
no, you
kinda
have to have
like
your
sideways.
thumbs on there.
Okay.
Sucker! Yeah.
You gotta lean left, lean right, lean back, lean forward, and then right thumb is jump.
No! Oh!
Oh!
Wait, what actually extends my...
You gotta flick out your wrist. Like you're
I'm not...
punching.
I can't do this one.
Haha.
I'm not very good at this one. No! Why isn't it going? Go, go, go! This is terrible. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
just you hold it like upright and you just lean and pew, pew, pew.
Wah!
There you go. There you go.
Wah! Go, 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 go.
There we go. Oh, no.
Oh my gosh!
Uh-oh, he's gonna do it. Here,
No,
stay on
no,
top of it.
no,
Boom!
no, no!
Boom! Skunk it! Skunk it!
No, get
Yes,
it again.
get it! Oh
you
my
were
God.
doing good, really.
I was trying so hard. I can't get like the
Wow.
movements. Oh, they're reversed. What the
Are
heck?
you holding the
Are
wrong
you
ones?
holding
The
the
wrong
wrong
hand?
ones? You can't be.
No, you're holding the right ones.
No, but like when I go right, it moves left. Like if I tilt it this way, it goes this way. If I tilt it this way, it goes that way.
That's not supposed to be happening.
Boom!
This is
Enjoy the
rigged.
candy corn, basically, is what I'm trying to get. Enjoy the candy corn.
Effing rigged.
One more match,
I
sir.
can't
do it.
swallow this one whole because the other one's still stuck in there. I might die.
Oh my god.
Okay. I'm getting all worked up. Getting all sweaty here.
Thank you for my exercise for the day.
Probably hate candy corn.
No! God, Daniel.
I just like kind of crushed that one with
Sneaky
my teeth into like 4 tiny pieces and swallowed. Don't make Ree suffer. Look at her. She looks so sad. I am sad. I hate candy corn.
No!
No, no,
I don't know why.
no, no, no. Get over there. Get over there.
No!
Yeah,
No!
boy.
Candy corn tastes like sweet compacted sand to me.
Sweet compact.
Like
That
sand you would
sweet,
use
sweet.
to make like a sand castle, but like that.
No.
Oh,
sweet.
I gotta get back.
It tastes like delicious Play-Doh. Like well flavored.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No,
you're
no,
gonna
no,
eat
no.
the corn, sir.
It kind of does taste like semi-hardened Play-Doh.
Oh, jeez, you spike on me.
Like not if you let it fully harden, but if you let it mostly harden.
No!
Boom!
Oh, you matched it up. I think we got a tiebreaker here.
Oh my gosh. Is there a
Wait.
tiebreaker? Does it now tiebreak? We can't. This isn't like football. We can't end like soccer. This isn't on a draw. What kind of game is this?
Should we eat candy corn like
We're
Lady and the
both
Tramp?
eating candy corn like Lady and the Tramp. Let's do this, buddy.
Oh my gosh! Please do.
Here.
Oh, oh my god!
No, I'm not gonna.
I
Somebody
wanted
mark
you
the
guys to
stream
go
as
for it.
mature.
Oh.
I wanted,
Do it right in front of Ree.
Anyways,
I wanted you guys to do it. I'm sad.
I still don't think candy corn's that bad. Everybody in this room hates candy corn but me.
it's gross.
Ree's
but-
face was pretty.
Y'all,
Pretty
thank you all
fun.
so much for joining us today. Hopefully you learned a little bit. Brought me back to my roots of the Coinboys.
That's
Pretty
right.
good. And hope you all had a good time. We were, again, powered by Mobcrush.
Yeah.
Follow us at Coinboys Podcast. I'm going to start doing more on Facebook now because I finally figured out how to use the damn thing. They
Yeah.
changed it up on me after I left. I'm like, what are these things? And follow me at dgutierrez84. You can follow Ree at.
Reanimator on Twitch, Twitter, and
You
Instagram.
can follow Aaron at.
At Sanity Crypto. I'm mostly on Twitter.
You
Come
can
hang
follow
out.
Sam Proof at.
I'm at Sam Proof on all the platforms.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Folks, have a great week. We'll do it again next week. Let us know on at Coinboys Podcast what you want us to play. We can go back to
That's
retro.
right. You
we
can pick
go
the game
whatever.
for us. Yeah, we got
Let us know.
We got all the retro console stuff too. So
We'll having a good time. Everybody, peace.
later, guys.
Bye.